Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second Culture Swap event. The first time we talked about reading and libraries, and this time we'll talk about food. We will share some great recipes and talk about hopefully your cuisine and show something about Estonian foods as well, and ask of your experience with Estonian food. So I don't know, of course, I would like to introduce the people here. First, there's Richard from City Center Government, and then Sandra, Tina, and me. We're all from Tallinn Central Library. My name is Janika, as you can see on my screen. So if you want to speak, then turn your mic on and talk, ask questions anytime. You can interrupt, that's okay. So first, maybe we will ask some questions and everyone who wants to answer can do so. So let's start with where are you from? And share one of your national dishes. So who would like to go first? Maybe Devika?
Hello, everyone. So as I've said earlier, I'm from India, and we have diverse cuisines starting from north to south of India. So we don't have any one particular dish that I can say, but probably the most common, something that everyone must have heard of, is biryani. So India has various forms of biryani that is made out of different sort of proteins for vegetarians and non-vegetarians alike. So that's pretty common. And curries. Indian curries are rather famous, and here also I see a lot of restaurants serving so many Indian food. At first I was surprised like how the Indian cuisine is so very well accepted here.
So can I ask, is it similar to the taste here that it your countries?
Not really, because the spice level is really different. So on a scale of 0 to 5, I think we eat 4 to 5 spice, and here things are around 1 or 2. So yeah,
of course.
and yes, and some spices that are maybe difficult to procure here, they are not used. So yeah, there's a little taste of difference in taste, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. And maybe Jenny would like to go next.
Yes, I am Jenny, as I said before. I'm from Greece. Yes, it's a very big surprise to me that Tallinn has no big or maybe very few variety of Greek restaurants. So there is something at Lasnamäe. There is a Greek restaurant which is this type is called taverna and has lots of meat. But if you really want to have like Greek cuisine, like Greek cooked food, you cannot find it in Tallinn. There is no Greek restaurants here. There are no Greek restaurants here.
Okay.
One of the most, I don't know, there's so many dishes now that I am pretty much confused, but of course it's the salad, the Greek salad, which is very popular. And I want to say something here that wherever it's served here in Estonia, unfortunately, is not served properly because the restaurants do not use the feta cheese, but they use a substitute, which is cheaper, but it's not the same. It is totally different. But that's the food that I think represents Greece, the salad.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I also love the salad and make it sometimes and try to do it with feta cheese.
Can you get good feta cheese anywhere in Tallinn?
Sure, all the supermarkets have it. It just has to be feta cheese, not other brands. With it doesn't come in a cube-like box. Let's say this. And yes, it has to and it has to be hard. You have to slice it with a knife. So it is good enough. I haven't found any bad quality feta cheese.
Does it matter what kind of olives do you use?
It's preferable to use black olives from Greece, but well, they have. There are some Spanish olives here, which are pretty fine, and they're green. But the black Spanish olives are not good for the salad because they're sweet. They're good to enjoy with your drink, but not for the salad. So if they're green, salty olives or black Greek olives from Kalamata, this is how they're called, Kalamata olives, then it's perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny. So maybe Stefan would like to go next.
Hi, hello again.
Hi.
I'm Catalin. Stefan is my family name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. I'm from Romania, and yeah, we have a lot of dishes. Of course, there's no Romanian restaurant in Estonia, from what I know. But if you find one, please let me know. I'm really curious to see what they have. And for the national dishes is really hard to say, because our cuisine, if I may say, is split it in like 3 regions that were influenced by 3 different cuisines. Like in Transylvania, it's mostly influenced by the Austro-Hungarians, and in northeastern part is influenced by Russians, and the south, and also the one next to the sea is influenced by Greek and Turkish cuisine. So, but yeah, if I would think, what I would tell a person that visits Romania to eat and try would be the cabbage rolls, which I'm pretty sure you have it here, but they're totally different than how we make them. They are called sarmale in Romania, and as I said, it depends on which region you're going, because if you're going to the center or the northern region of Romania, they will be like this big. If you're going to Moldova, they will be like this. So you have to be careful when you order, because yeah. And also we have these types of soups, but they are not soups. We are calling them ciorba. They are sour, and we have the one that it's known in Romania and is really good. It's the meatball soup, but it's totally different than how you make it here. It's they are called perișoare. It's kind of hard to pronounce them. Of course, we have other different foods that I might talk today about them if I have a chance. But yeah, if you're visiting, also there's a really good ciorba, also soup. It's the bean soup, and it's served in like a big bun, which is the middle part is taken out, and the soup is put in that big bun, and it's put on top with the lid kind of, and you're eating it from there with onion. So you have to be careful where you go after that. Yeah.
Thank you. I also, as we go on, I'm sharing the recipes. They're not probably the most authentic recipes. They're the first ones I found. Okay, Sandra. Also, Sandra and I, we share the exact same recipe, so well done us. Yeah. So, Secret Mexican, very secretive name. Do you also want to share? I'm sure everyone's looking forward to tips from Mexican cuisine.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jacobina Rivera. I'm part of the Secret Mexican Society. So this is a culinary project that we have, a few Mexicans and I here in Tallinn. And the idea is we cook our grandmother's recipes. We are bringing the ingredients from all over Europe and from Mexico. Actually, the last time I went there, I brought 55 kilograms just of ingredients. And yeah, whenever you are feeling like trying authentic Mexican food, just give us a call. We prepare that. We love it. It's our thing. And about Mexican food, it's so our food is considered one of the of heritage of humanity in the world by the UNESCO. And the main three ingredients that we use is corn, chili, and tomato. Actually, these are the ingredients that we gave to the world. We call it like pre-Hispanic diet. And actually another very important ingredient that we gave to the world was cacao to prepare chocolate. So yeah, our I know that normally we think that Mexican food is just tacos, but we have 200 different types of tacos, and all of them, they are very different prepared. They have a lot of ingredients on them, but I'll say actually our national dish is not taco related at all. We have two different national dishes. The first one is mole. Mole is one of the most complex dishes that we have. The recipe that I prepare has around 60 different ingredients. So in mole, we have 20 different types of mole. Almost half of them, it is prepared with chocolate. So it's basically a sauce of chili and chocolate. And you can prepare it either with chicken or with pork and some rice on the side. So that's a very nice one, but we discover, because we have already sold a few orders of mole here in Estonia, that Estonians don't like mole, because I think I understand why it's not a very popular dish here in Estonia, because I think it's a very complex dish. Is like with chocolate, but it's also spicy, but it's also bitter. So it's just too many flavors at the same time. And for us, for Mexicans, that's a delicatessen, but I understand why some Europeans, they are happy to try it, but maybe it's not the like, I don't know if I want to eat it again. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you.
Perfect. Also, sorry for calling you Secret Mexican. I didn't see the end of that name.
No, it's fine.
The one Secret Mexican from the Secret Mexican Society. So you're a cafe, or you just?
No, we are more like a dark kitchen. It's something that I've just prepared in my apartment. In some of places on Facebook or on Instagram, we upload whatever we are preparing, because we are preparing a different dish every week. So we offer like, hey guys, we have, I don't know, 20 portions of tamales this week. Who wants? So whoever wants to try, they come by, they picked it up, and they have the full Mexican experience.
Everyone who missed this opportunity to see this event live really are kicking themselves right now, I'm sure. Because we got the information first. They're going to see it afterwards on our recording. And also that actually leads us to one other question is preparing your national dishes in Tallinn. Like how easy it is to, you said you get the ingredients from all over Europe, how easy it is, and this goes to all of you, how easy it is to get the ingredients to make your national dishes, or even like dishes from your own country in Estonia?
Logistically speaking, it's a nightmare. I have a list of suppliers all over Europe. I bring the tortillas from Czech Republic. I bring the chiles from Spain. I bring the flour from either Latvia or Finland. You know, I have already a chain of suppliers. but it's very complicated, especially right now during COVID times, that there are a lot of restrictions, the borders are getting complicated. So yeah, that's why we need to try to do it everything in advance. We just prepare pre-orders, and because we need to calculate ingredients. And I think why this project has been very successful for us is that we have the Mexican approval. So if you ask any Mexican in Estonia, if where can you find real Mexican food, they will tell you that with the Secret Mexican Society, like that's the way to go.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else want to say how difficult it is to find the ingredients?
Sure, I can say. Very. It sounds weird, but in Estonia, someone cannot find greens, fresh green leaves, which are used a lot in Greek cuisine. For example, the beets. You hear people eat beets a lot, but they throw away the leaves. And these are used everywhere in Greece. Or when you eat the cabbage, all the leaves around the cabbage, we boil them and eat them. But here you throw them away. So it's so hard for me to find these fresh green ingredients. And also, they're very ingredients for Greek cooking are also very expensive here in Tallinn. For example, the peppers or tomatoes. It's obviously, it does make sense because they're imported, but the reality is that it's a bit hard. But I'm pretty much flexible, and I usually cook fusion. I cook something between Estonian and Greek.
Can I add something to that? I have the same feeling. I totally understand this feeling that there are some ingredients that for me are super complicated to get, but here in Estonia, people just throw them away. So I'm actually trying to make some type of arrangement with farmers around Estonia, like, please do not throw away this specific thing that you are not using at all. Like, I will buy it for you because it's super expensive. It's super complicated to bring it. But we just see that farmers just, or in the markets, just keep throwing it away. So that's kind of a hard time for us, and we are trying to manage it. And by the way, Jenny, if you want to find a super amazing Greek restaurant, I totally recommend going to Huma. In Huma, there is like this super tiny cafe.
Oh yeah, I know that.
You've been there? Oh my God, that guy is amazing.
No, I haven't been there, but I have a colleague who lives half of the year at Huma, and he has sent me photos of the place.
It's just beautiful. I totally recommend to everyone. Like the food of this, it's a Greek guy. He started this with the pension funds, and he's an amazing cook. Like, I was crying with his Greek food. It's just beautiful.
Thank you for the recommendation. Definitely wrote it down. The ferry tickets are going to go fast soon, I think. What is the ingredient that the farmers throw away? Is it also the beet leaves, or it's something else?
It's the corn husk. So I need the corn husk to prepare tamales, and those are super complicated to get. And also there is one flour, like, I don't remember the name in English. There is a flour of a very specific vegetable that we use to cook, but here people just use the vegetable itself, and we use the flour as well. So there are a lot of things that I'm seeing that they just throw them, and we are trying to deal and make arrangements with farmers for next year, have these ingredients somehow.
Yes, I mean, do you mean zucchini flour, maybe?
Oh yeah, it's a zucchini flour.
Yeah.
Yes, Thank you. Yeah.
We eat that in Greece too. I've never found it here.
I
But
saw how they throwing it. I literally saw how they were throwing it. I was like, oh my God, no,
yeah,
give it to me.
in Greece they sell it at the supermarket. The day they pick it up, it's good only for 1 day, and it's super expensive. So this farmer, but if people don't eat it here, I understand why they throw it away. But really, they are losing money.
I think I've seen recipes like deep fried zucchini flowers, maybe.
We stuff it with rice in Greece, with rice and herbs, and then we fry it or we boil it. It depends on the recipe.
Yeah, we can prepare a lot of things in Mexican cuisine with that, like soups and tacos and quesadillas, and there are a lot of things, but we can just don't get it here.
I've also tried the zucchini flower, but in Estonia, people like to grow the greens and vegetables for themselves a lot. So that's why you probably cannot find them in the market or something like that, because we all moved to our summer homes and start to grow things there and eat them ourselves.
Yeah, it's definitely a deal that we require to do with people like farmers or like these personal, like small farms that people have in their suvilas. It's something that we are working on because we are very aware that never in the supermarket we'll get it.
Yeah, you have to come up with a deal with someone, and also the library. Maybe Sandra will show us what the library has to offer to help with that, how to grow things yourself.
I was just looking at the seed library list. If they sell, Sandra, can you pull it up? If they sell like zucchinis, so you can grow them.
Can you see the library webpage?
Yes.
Yes. So here, when you pick services, home lending, there you will see on the left side is our seed box. So besides books, you get to borrow a lot of other things, such as seeds. We have a separate seed library. And here is a list of our seeds also that you can see. So it's easy to come to the library, borrow some seeds and grow the necessary things yourself. So Tina, were you wondering if we had zucchini or what did you wonder about?
Well, in my case, I'm super, I cannot keep plants alive like I keep cactuses. But I know people who will be, I didn't know you had this option. This is beautiful. And actually, I don't know if you will be interested in, but I could, I have some seeds of chilies or some other things, Mexican things that perhaps we could do something amazing. I don't know. It's very exciting.
Of course. I think it is possible to bring your own seeds to the library as well. I think that's how it works. Actually, you don't have to bring the seeds like back or something. You don't have to bring the flowers or like peas to the library. But if you'd like, you can collect the seeds afterwards and bring them back to the library so other people can use. So it's very interesting.
If that's something that you would like to collaborate with us, we would love to give you some of our seeds, of course.
Yeah, and if you don't have the necessary tools to use, if you're planting the seeds, then besides that, we also have a toolbox in our library.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's very exciting. We have various tools here. It's not only for the plants, but if you're doing like a renovation at your home and you don't want to buy that special equipment for that one time, so then you can come to the library.
Oh my God.
So
Estonia
yeah,
is an amazing country. I just love it.
we have quite interesting things here. But okay, maybe I will stop sharing right now. I suggest just to look on our webpage what interesting things we have here.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
I need to step out from this meeting now, but I would love to keep contact with you. And if we could collaborate with something with the seeds that we have, we would love to bring those type of ingredients to Estonia.
Okay, thank you. But maybe Devika could share.
So for me, luckily, it's not difficult to find several ingredients. I am a vegetarian though, so getting good sources of protein is difficult because we also used to have a lot of green leafy vegetables and green fiber-rich vegetables back in India. So now my protein and fiber sources are limited to a few grams that are available. But otherwise, finding spices is not difficult. I am still getting used to the rice because it's rather different. And yes, and flour. So we have something called refined flour, which is sold as a regular flour here. And for our regular everyday consumption, we eat flatbread with curries and vegetables. So for that, it's a little difficult finding it here, but luckily we also have Indian stores. So that's also not an issue. So I am thriving. Yeah, so I don't have any issues. I'm living life.
Wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And Katalin, you haven't shared yet.
All right. Well, Romania is in Europe, so it's not that tough for me to find ingredients here in Estonia. What is the problem here in Estonia is it's about the taste of some vegetables. They taste like green, especially for tomatoes. I'm not. I was used with the taste of tomatoes we have in Romania, and here they taste like the tomatoes we have in the winter. Here they taste the whole year. So yeah, that's
why we grow them ourselves.
Yeah,
they taste differently.
There's probably like a small window in the year where they would taste like completely ripe and perfect.
If I may add, vegetables here are very sweet. So in India, tomatoes are of different types. So the prominent type that is used in common cooking every day is rather tangy, but the ones that we get here is sweet. So every time you make a curry, it's sweet because the tomatoes are sweet. Yeah, but the onions are really good, very spicy onions, very sharp.
So I take that Romanian tomatoes are even sweeter than the ones here.
Yes. yeah. They are very, very tasty, and it's a total difference. But of course, it depends on probably with this global warming, you can start growing tomatoes here, because from what I saw last summer, it would have been really easy to have tomatoes the same.
Actually, I did grow tomatoes just without the greenhouse. This summer.
Yeah. And they taste totally different. Yeah, and another thing, I mean, like I can't remember the name from the Mexican society. She's cooking from the grandma's recipes, which, in my opinion, are kind of the best recipes that you can get. Also, yeah, another thing for me would be to have these sauces that are made by my grandma or my mother, that we are using them in cooking these soups. And also we have a different, I can't call it sauce, it's like a juice that we are making. We are making them ourselves to make the soup sour. It's called the borscht, but it's not the borscht that you have here. You call borscht the entire soup, like seljanka, probably it's a borscht. Yeah, it's a sauce that is really sour. So we are using them. Sometimes you are making it from green plums, and so you don't wait for them to ripe, and you're just boiling them and make this. But fortunate for me, being in that Romania is in Europe, I found like there is a special delivery. There's some guys who are doing these delivery stuff, and from time to time I'm receiving packages from my home, and I get all these stuff. So yeah, and different like smoked meats and other stuff. Also, what it's hard to, I mean, I couldn't find it anywhere. It's in Romania we have this white cheese. It's different than the feta cheese. It's more, it's a little bit more airy than the feta cheese. I think feta cheese is a little dense. It's more dense, but I might be wrong. And it's this cheese that we keep it in this salty, in this brine, salty water to keep it. And I couldn't find it here. So yeah, I received it from abroad.
I would like to add that it's very difficult for me to find cottage cheese here as well, because the cottage cheese that's used in traditional cooking is hard, it's dense, that you can cut it into small pieces easily. But the one that we get here, it's soft, so it disintegrates. And yeah, so I make it by myself at home by using milk and vinegar, and I shape it and everything. So it works, but yeah, I miss some good cottage cheese. Again, I would say that the lemons or the limes here are not sour enough. So every time you use that, because we also eat a lot of sour food, and every time you add it, it feels very sweet. It feels more like oranges than lemons.
Okay, I also shared a link from a website I found yesterday. It's called the Arc of Taste, and it's a website that has all the like special foods of different countries. There's a map, you can click on it, and especially in the sense that they're important to the country and they've existed at least a generation. So it has, if you click on the map, you can see a list of the foods that have been nominated from every country. So that's an interesting website to also check out. On the brined cheese, the brânza, it's that Katarin was talking about, is also one of the ones nominated there. So right. I know there's a radio station in Estonia that actually has a series of breakfasts from different countries. And I just thought that's such a great idea. Does anyone want to share a breakfast from their own country? Is there like something special you eat, for instance?
Depending on where you are in India, there are different breakfast staple dishes. So if you're in the north, say in Delhi, New Delhi, the most common breakfast there is chole bhature. So it's deep fried flatbread with chickpea curry, or chickpea prepared in a very spicy manner. And if you go down in the central India, you get poha, which is rice, flattened rice, cooked with turmeric and a few vegetables. Very basic, very simple and easy preparation, but it's very fulfilling and it's very healthy for you as well. I won't say chole bhature is healthy though. And then when you go down south, you get dosa, sambar, and idli. It's the most common food that South India has, and they have it as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's made out of rice and urad dal. There's a grain, a pulse dal. So they soak it overnight, grind it, and then it ferments a little, and then they either steam it to make idlis, or they cook it on a pan to make dosa. Normally it has filling with potatoes, boiled potatoes, mashed and seasoned with different things, different likings. So yeah, that's that's three of the things that are very common in different parts of India. And we also have samosa and jalebi. It's another traditional thing that is very common in several households. So samosa is like it's triangle pastry filled with potato, and it's spicy, and it's served with chutney, which is again spicy, tangy, and sweet. So depending on how you like it, and curd. Curd is also very important to go with samosa. And jalebi is a sweet, like it's a dessert. It's crispy, it's orange, and it's made out of, I can't think of it right now, but if I do, I will let you know. But jalebi is really tasty. If there's one dessert that I would want everyone to taste, it's jalebi.
Could you write it in the chat maybe? So if anyone wants, they can find a recipe or look it up more.
So maybe meanwhile, someone else will share their breakfast habits or foods.
Okay, I can I can go, but there's nothing special. It also depend. I mean, it doesn't depend where I am. If I eat breakfast at my mom's place, or if I eat breakfast at my grandma's place, it's a full table of everything. So it's also depends on the time of the year. In winter we eat more like fatty stuff in the morning. We have this you also have it here in Estonia. We have this fat part from the pig that we keep it, but in Romania it's slimmer than here in Estonia, and we also smoke it and keep it. Some people leave it like smoked and salted. Some people keep it also in this salted brine with some spices and garlic, and it's really tasty because it melts in your mouth, and it's really good. But in the summer we have this fresh tomatoes with this white cheese and eggs, and so it's not something special. It's whatever you have. So yeah, but a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. It's at least in my family, that's the thing. There's the table has to be full. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Jenny?
Well, actually, in Greece, breakfast is not a Greek thing. People do not used to dress up quickly and go out at the fields, I guess. So maybe a slice of bread with some honey, milk, butter, but not the fancy way like we do it today. Maybe even while walking there to their job. I would say that Greece was, yeah, there is no tradition in breakfast at all. Maybe nowadays we eat some European stuff like fried eggs or jam and butter and toasted bread. But breakfast is a new thing, I guess. They had some, what you call it, is they had something between the lunch and the starting of work. They had a 10-minute break and they ate some olives with bread, but that's all. But now modern people, I guess, eat whatever they see in the movies.
in the series, TV series. So oatmeal and all these things.
Oatmeal is a great segue to start the Estonian segment. So what Estonians eat for breakfast? I think oatmeal porridge is one of the staples. I know my parents eat it every morning still, and have done so for years. So
one funny thing is that oatmeal is very new in Greece. Maybe the last 15 years it's popular there. And before that, I remember my grandmother listening about oat and that we people eat it. And she was like surprised because she was considering oat to be food for the animals. So that's how the culture of breakfast is in Greece. Nothing of what we know as breakfast.
So thank you for sharing. It's interesting to see how different the breakfast traditions are in different countries all over the world. Talking about Estonian cuisine, I'd be interested to know what you consider the staple of Estonian cuisine, or like let's say a national dish. What do you think is the national dish of Estonia?
Maybe herring with also peas and these yellow peas and sour cabbage, of course, and this thing that I don't eat, the blood sausage. And the other thing I don't eat, but we have it in Greece too, is the one with the jelly, the pork jelly.
Sausages is very, very worst, right?
Very worst. Yeah, that is the blood sausage. Yeah,
Yes,
black pudding.
Yeah, very worst. And I've heard that Estonians eat a lot of pirukas of different kinds.
Yep, different pastries, filled pastries usually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you can make from flour we have.
Yeah.
And the bread, leib.
Leib.
Yeah.
Black bread especially, exactly, yeah, the rye bread.
Yeah.
But from my own experience, I know that other countries have said, like you said about our tomatoes, I've also heard about our bread, that it's a lot sweeter than anywhere else.
If you talk about leib, then it's actually tangy. The rye bread, it feels tangy. But sai breads are regularly, they're sweet. They're like milk breads.
I was once told when I went abroad and I brought an Estonian muhu rye bread with me. And as I was leaving, they said like, oh, and thank you for bringing the cake. So that should show a little bit of what they thought about the sweetness level. All right. Have you heard about kama? So kama is a type of, I didn't think this through. How do I explain it? It's
a mixture of flours.
Yes, with kefir or sour milk. But I was just thinking if I would call it a dessert, or it's more of a drink. It's a very hearty drink, but in some restaurants, it's made to be sweeter, and then it's a dessert technically. But yeah, it's a mixture of different kinds of flours with soured milk. So if you see it, and you can, I'll try to find this. Hunter, could you find us the quick photo of the kama? It's sold, I think it's in the flour aisle actually. And it's, ruki kama, for instance. And then you can, the flour mixture is sold separately, and then you can make it on. I see they've put it into a yogurt on this screen as well. So that is I would say like a very, very traditional Estonian food / drink. The pink version I haven't even seen. It's mostly this light brownish version. And
if it's made into a dessert, then it's mostly with whipped cream or I don't know,
jams.
Yeah.
So it's Yeah, so this is one. And then another one that you mentioned, herrings. It's also either Baltic herring sandwiches or then sprat sandwiches, which are, it's this tiny fish. It's not an anchovy. Anchovies are fattier. So it's a small fish that's found in the Baltic Sea. And it's especially popular during, let's say, next week when it's the Independence Day. Then everyone will have some form of this on their table. It's had with egg, sometimes sour cream on top, spring onions or green onions. And we'll put the link in the chat description. So just before we finish today, make sure you take all the notes, because I think there are some really amazing recipes to be had from today. Has anyone tried any of these? Surely the sandwiches.
I haven't, but the sprats, are they easy to find nowadays? Okay.
Yes, because the sprat it's kilo in Estonian. But there's also a thing called spratid, which is it creates some confusion because the English word is sprat, but that's the same type of fish, but it's in oil and it's prepared differently. But both of them, they're in every fish aisle, in every shop, even the smallest one. You'll definitely find at least one brand, but there's several Estonian companies that have this fish.
Since most of the traditional Estonian food contains some kind of meat, I haven't had anything like any vegetarian rendition of the dishes yet, but I think kama sounds really interesting. I'll check it out, definitely. I have seen the packet a bunch of times at the grocery store, but I always wondered that it's like a health drink or something. So maybe next time I'll buy it.
You know, if you put lots of sugar in it, it's not going to be a health drink
Yeah.
anymore. But originally, yeah, I would say, yeah, obviously rather healthy.
Yes. So you have it with curd or kefir?
Kefir usually.
Kefir.
From what I've heard, I think it's fairly different. As I saw from the Google search, I mean, there was also in obviously a sweet yogurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I bought kama the first days I was in Estonia accidentally, because I thought it was something like võileib, something like you know, grated bread or something for making patties. And anyway, I read what it was afterwards, but I use it as a flavor additive. Like when I have some apple and honey, I add kama on the top. It's my interpretation of how to use it, because I don't eat kefir, but I really like it this way.
It's actually a great suggestion. I've never thought of that. That would be amazing. And one other thing we thought of that's, I don't know, it's very uniquely Estonian, but it's karask. For one example is odra karask, so it's a barley bread. I'll add the link. And this is it's made with buttermilk. So kefir, if you're not a fan of that, yeah, you probably won't enjoy it very much. But yeah, and it's had people have it with butter, and it's especially good when it's warm. So if you're into baking, I would suggest trying to make that. It's not very difficult.
I think it takes time, but kefir grows on you. Like earlier, I could not, adapt myself to having it, but now I think it's very important in my kitchen. It takes time, but it's really good.
Mm-hmm. And next step from that is hapubean. That's an acquired taste.
Correct. Hapukur is another good thing that I use almost every week.
Hapukor is a staple, definitely. It goes on everything in desserts, breakfasts, dinners, absolutely everything,
And
savory or not.
for me, it was most challenging to find out what I can eat and what I cannot because I have a restrictive diet. And the first thing that I started doing was just turning the label and reading everything. What does this packet mean? What does this say? Because the terms are so different that I had to translate everything. So in the process, I did develop a good vocabulary, which is good. But yeah, it was really fun.
Okay, so just quickly before we finish, we thank you for everyone who's already shared some recommendations. I know Jenny said there's one Greek tavern in Lasnamäe, and then someone else mentioned the Hiiumaa restaurant. What about Indian restaurants that are as authentic as possible?
I've only been to Villa Thai, which is good. And then there's the Chi kitchen. It's everywhere, so you can get good stuff there. So they have good curries. But Indian cuisine is fairly easy to find here. A lot of restaurants have them. And there's one restaurant in Old Town. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's Maharaja. They also have good Indian dishes. So definitely try the dessert gulab jamun there if it's available.
My problem with the Indian food here in Estonia is never spicy enough. It's
I agree with you.
They put 3 peppers on the menu, and when it comes, I can't feel anything.
I absolutely agree with you.
It's the same with Mexican and yeah. So
yeah, I think because they don't have green chilies here, and green chilies are very important in Indian cuisine. And other than that, garam masala. So I carried my own garam masala from India, which is something that my mother makes, and it's the best. So that brings out the spiciness of everything. But here, I think it's difficult to procure and make because you don't get all the ingredients here.
I think people, who like spicy food are often have to rely on getting their ingredients from different countries. It's we have quite a low tolerance of spice. I think it's probably getting better. I think, but
yeah.
All right. So thank you, everyone. It was a extremely interesting evening. I have several pages full of notes actually for all the restaurants and dishes that you all shared. We can just also share the topic for next time. The next event is in March, 16th of March, and it's going to be about traveling, about museums, about sightseeing in different countries. So I'm hoping that will be also a very interesting conversation. And if any of you want to join, you're always welcome. So I think we'll end the recording here tonight. And thank you so much for everyone who joined.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.